So what do you do?
Yeah, so I got into psychology because psychiatry was when I was 15 years ago, I was hospitalized into two psychiatric hospitals for about a month, and again, I don't want to go into every detail, but it was the first hospital. I sort of was like, this is weird, but I was in a fraternity, and my friends and I, guys in my fraternity, not so much me, but
Can you say which fraternity you were in?
yeah, it was called Delta Tau Delta. I mean, there's a million of them.
I was in the fucking. Carry on. I'll tell you which one.
Okay. So guys being guys in their late teens, early 20s. There's a lot of stories of people doing a lot of stupid things. So I thought being in a psychiatric.
I was in the Lambda fraternity.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, like Animal House.
It's from the movie Nerds.
Nerds, right.
Shout out to the guy that played Booger, man. Loved you. What a great movie that was.
Classic.
Please tell me you've seen that.
No.
That's your homework next week.
All right.
I'm not into watching movies too much these days, but you got to see the Nerds and Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
The best part is when they bring the other female frat house.
Yeah,
and he's like this tall. And he's
Sorority,
dancing with this massive
Yeah.
woman. Great movie, man. But I'm sorry.
You can't go. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's why you triggered that memory.
Yeah. Well,
What was that frat known for? Where'd you go to college,
My
man?
fraternity?
Where'd you go to college?
University of Maryland,
Okay.
College Park.
All right, not too far.
Yeah. So there was a lot of hijinks, a lot of like crazy stuff, and not so much me, but my fraternity brothers and guys who were older than me, everyone had a crazy story. So many crazy stories, and so I thought I was in a hospital. Crazy things happen. I didn't think I needed to be in there, and then I ended up.
Why did you get placed in that hospital?
Well, so I want to be discreet, and especially because of like other people were involved, like family members. But
you were put there, you think, against your will?
Well, it officially was against my will. Like legally, I was not allowed to leave for a week.
So you were kind of like what you would classify as falsely imprisoned?
No, I was classified as justifiably imprisoned.
Okay, so
not imprisoned.
You're glad that it happened?
I mean, it's the kind of thing where I'm glad, I'm grateful in general. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't wish it happened, but I'm not gonna complain. I try not to complain. I do, I'm sure, especially to certain people, but things happen for a reason. But long story short, I was in there because I had one psychiatrist who said that I scored a 5 out of 10 on a questionnaire for being suicidal, and so he had me handcuffed and taken by campus security.
Were you?
I wasn't suicidal, and he didn't say I was suicidal either.
But there might be a chance we're going to be precautions.
Right. Based on
a little excessive.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I guess, listen, if we were in that position too, and someone scored or whatever, because maybe that really was the results.
Right.
You wouldn't take the risk, would you?
Right.
You'd be responsible.
No. I mean,
you should have put him in that ward. You didn't. Blah blah blah.
I mean, looking at it close, I can understand it. And other people I've told to have said, yeah, I understand why that happened. So I was taken to a hospital. I wasn't locked in for a week. I was examined for 4 hours, and they said I made psychotic statements. They didn't write down what the statements were, so I'll never know. There's some hints in other notes, but it's hard to say. No, my family doesn't remember, and they wouldn't let me leave for a week. And again, I sort of looked at it.
Okay, so your life was pretty much normal up until that point.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting to tell you about my life. Yeah.
Did you grow up in the Orthodoxy too?
No, Reform.
Okay, so you were in that second tier.
Yeah, close to the Christian people.
And you guys met after?
We met recently, the last couple of years, 2.5 years ago.
Was it like sparks flew?
Yeah.
Like immediate friendship, like it just hit it. Sometimes it just happens like that.
No, we became friends after we met. We were doing some work together.
So I'm saying, when you first met, though, was it just like right away you guys hit it off, or you hated him?
No, it was neither. I think we were both just really busy parts of our lives, and somehow we reconnected.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how.
Would you consider him one of your best friends?
Oh, absolutely.
You?
100%.
Yeah.
You love this guy?
Yeah.
Kind of hung with Al the Pal.
With what?
Al the Pal, the guy that looks like Silent Bob.
Yeah.
And Where's Waldo had a kid.
Crazy.
It's similar.
Al the Pal. He looks. Al, turn your face around. Let him see you. He looks like Where's Waldo and Silent Bob had a kid.
Yeah.
He's got a nice heart, this kid.
Yeah.
Love him. So, do you know why you were placed into that facility?
Well,
What was the reason you were placed in there?
they said I made psychotic statements, but they didn't
To
say
who?
They didn't say. That's literally what I just told you is the extent of what they said.
Wasn't from friends or family?
That's not the actual admission was made psychotic statements. They said that I had been in the hospital because I had been a 5 out of 10 on this questionnaire. My parents were like that. Then I don't want to get my family involved. Right now. I'm working on a story about it, and I will say I'm not lying to you. I'm not really.
Keep this mic in front.
Yeah.
I'm not good up until now.
Right. I'm not really. I'm trying not to. It's pretty straightforward. So, like I said, though, I don't consider it that mystifying. Like what I told you, there was some behavior. My family found out that I was using drugs, and they were justifiably concerned. And so I looked at it like, oh, okay, whatever. It's a week in a hospital. It's not the end of the world. So then I get out and I end up, and this is where it gets a little more hard to explain, but I was in a hospital for 3 weeks. Afterwards, 9 days after. And this, there's no real explanation I can give you other than that I went to the hospital because a psychiatrist said, you have to take drugs. And I said, I don't want to take pharmaceuticals. And I was, pressured by people close. I was pressured to go into the hospital by people who loved me. And so I went in, and essentially what happened is the doctors said, well, he was in the hospital last week. He probably was psychotic based on what we've been told. Let's keep him here anyway. Even though my behavior was not, I was not psychotic or even manic. They actually wrote that I wasn't manic, and they wouldn't let me leave for 3 weeks. And it made, the way to describe it is it felt like I was in a movie. It felt like I was in a movie. Like I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. And that was 15 years ago. And I thought this can't possibly happen to anyone else. I hadn't heard news stories about this. Like you probably thinking there's got to be more to this. And it doesn't sound believable. And I kept it quiet for about 13 years.
Which facility was this?
It's Weill Cornell. It's in the city. It's actually ranked like the third best psychiatric.
So you feel like they kind of held you against your will?
Oh, I don't feel like that. It's a fact.
They held you against your will?
Yeah.
And even your family wasn't telling them to hold you in? Or they were? You don't know? Or you can't talk about it?
Yeah. They did. I mean, I'll say they were supportive of it. Yeah, I'll say that.